Hello, everybody. Welcome this Thursday night, January 11th. I think I got it. I think I've got it. Oh, I did. Okay. It is so good to see you. And I'm dragging my feet on this. I'm dragging my feet on this house project. I didn't work on it at all today like I normally do. But today, so we're going to work on it tonight. But today I was taking down the rest of the Christmas decorations. I did the tree today. I did all the surfaces except for about 5 little decorative houses in the dining room. And then I just have to make sure I get everything in the boxes safely, make sure I didn't overpack them. The porcelain houses, of which I've been collecting for 30 years. So I've got like 12 or more, and they're heavy. So I have to disperse them between boxes so Mark doesn't kill himself taking them up to the attic. But as of now, I think we've gotten everything except those 5 houses down and put away. Mark did the outside decorations. And for me, I try very hard. I try very hard to get the decorations down before I go to Myrtle Beach. Because by the time I'm there a whole week and come home, it's the last week then of January. And I'm not going to feel like walking into this house knowing I've got all kinds of Christmas decorations to take down. I just realized, sorry about this, I just realized that my hands were very dry. So, and I don't want to scare children on this show tonight. So, the older you get, the drier your skin gets. A lot of things kind of go wonky as you get older. Well, I'm going to start out tonight first with seeing who's here. And then let me see. Barbara, you were the first one to be here. So good to see you, hon. There's our Marcia. I didn't send Marcia a Christmas present this year, and I really should have because she is so good to us. And she's here every show and she greets people the whole entire show. So, Marcia, I'm going to work on that this year. I promise. So, hello, Laura. It is so good to see you. And Mitty. And oh, this is great. Oh, I'm going down. Look. I love seeing y'all chat. And Denise has the most icon filled. My glasses are crooked. How do I fix them? This way. But Denise has the best icons. I love her icons. Happy New Year's to you, Miss Denise. So, oh, it's so good to see all of you. Oh, y'all had a blizzard, Marcia. That's right. A lot of places had blizzards. All we got so much rain. Let me see if I can show you. Across the street is a pond, and we sit up on a little bit of a hill. But this whole neighborhood, the street where you come in is over 10 feet or 15 feet higher than our driveway. And then our driveway is about 7 feet higher than the lake. And so we've never really worried about flooding, but we had 2 to 3 inches of rain the other day when that big storm came up. I know it probably hit most of y'all, but let me show you a picture I took. I sent it to Mark. The rain was so bad. Whoops, hold on. Here is the lake part, and that is way full. That's about 5 feet higher than it should be. But let me show you the silt pond. The silt pond did its job the other day. It really did. I'm hoping the picture will turn. Come on, turn picture. Oh, well, it doesn't want to turn. But that poor house on the other side of the silt pond, I think they were getting very worried That silt pond is very huge. I mean, it has overflowed the banks 10 feet on all sides. And you can see they accidentally put one of the fill tubes in too high, and it got to the top of that fill tube. Luckily, it didn't broach the little mini dam between the silt pond and the lake. But oh boy, it was just here's another one. It's even higher here. Let me see if it'll adjust. But look at that. Normally there's at least 10 to 15 more feet of shoreline where that is. And you can see in the road flooded from my side. See my ditch down there full of water? So I would love to hear if y'all had interesting. Oh, here's another one. Look how close that flooding came to the overfill pipe is right there. And that one was too high to even to do the job. Well, I tell you what, and that flooding came right up to the edge of their garage. So I have a feeling they were a little nervous. But we're fine now. And I was supposed to go out to Walmart to pick up an order. I got to tell you, I have been very happy with Walmart. When you have a delivery from them, they are really fast on it. I feel really good about it. And, it's nice to be able to shop from the large Walmart and get all these different things that aren't at the grocery store. And so, what I've been doing, I started it at Christmas, but if I need certain things, I put an order in and then I drive to the Walmart Supercenter, the one that has a really good layout to come pick up the bags. They are so fast. So I've been real pleased. I've been very, very pleased. So, because sometimes you just need Walmart prices. One of the things I didn't finish saying hi to everybody. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because I love y'all being here. I see Miss Jody. Hi, dear heart. And yeah, Marcia lives in Omaha, Nebraska. There's Miss Mary. How did you do? I don't know how high or low your land is, but I hope although it might not have hit y'all as hard, it kind of came through Alabama, um, Tennessee, kind of to the coast and up. And where I used to live, where I was born in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, Virginia, they got a pretty good amount of flooding. So, but I didn't go to the Walmart because I knew there'd be roads around here that were flooded. I didn't want to take a chance. So, oh, it's so good to see all of you. Mary, it's so good to see you. Mary wanted to have my New Year's mystery quilt. So I've gathered up all the parts. It's laying in a nice pile. And she was so sweet. She said, Deb, don't rush to get it mailed before you go to the retreat. I know you're busy. And so far, I've got it gathered. It's all right there. And, but I will get it done at some point. Oh, Mary said they're very high with good drainage. Thank goodness. I've always lived near the coast, so I know what it's like to be flooded. Let's see. There's Mitty and Jody, Denise, Diana B. Hi, sweetie. So good to see you. Oh, Diana B got a foot of snow. Oh, I bet you it's so pretty. Yeah, I shop online now. I never really liked shopping, and I definitely don't now. So if I can shop online, I'm a happy camper. Robin's here. Hi. Right up into northern Ontario. I'll have to tell Mark, he was born in Ontario. And right down near, what's the city that's right across the river from Detroit? That's where he was born. So, yes, Walmart is a great convenience for busy people and older people who just don't want to tackle that huge store, that busy store. But oh, today was beautiful in New Orleans. You even went swimming. Oh my goodness. When Windsor. That's it, Robin. He was born in Windsor, Ontario. I'm so glad y'all are so smart because by this time of night, my head is like a giant sieve. It's just leaking words and facts. So, but especially after spending hours putting away Christmas things, I tell you, I fight putting up that tree. I love a Christmas tree, but I hate to put it up. And Mark's not a fan of Christmas. So it's my responsibility to decorate inside the house. He does the outside for me grudgingly, but he knows I don't want to get up on step stools and ladders anymore. So he does the outside of the house, but I'm responsible for the inside, and I'm grateful he'll do anything. But it is so easy to undecorate a tree. I mean, I was just pulling stuff off left and right. So, that was easy. All right. Oh, Nebraska. I'm sure Nebraska got hit. I love, Denise, that you went swimming. I'm going to, when I go to the retreat, they've got an indoor swimming pool. So I'm going to try to visit that. One of the things that I got from Walmart was they had a cutting and craft mat, self-healing. They had it for $6. It was actually 13 inches square. $6 and some 78 cents or something. Well, let me show you why I got excited about a new mat. This Alaska pattern suggests that you use a rotating ruler. So this is one of those early Olfa rotating ruler. And see, you can kind of spin it so you don't have to pick up your fragile pieces and move them. You just spin the mat so you can get to a better cutting position. Well, I use this to do a lot of the cutting out of the Alaska quilt pattern, which I'm happy to say I got it all done yesterday. No, Tuesday morning, I got it all done. Now, this ruler or cutting mat I have had for 25 years. Do you see the chunks missing out of it? So, the other day, it was so bumpy in all of the lines. And what's happened, it's not just from making cuts on it for 25 years, it's that the material itself is breaking down. So I took one of my templates, my Alaska templates, and thought I'll scrape across it and get rid of some of the nicks and things. When I did that, this green scruffy dust like stuff just came off like crazy. I thought, okay, I have a problem here. This has now the material, the green, it was a very early cutting mat. This is at the end of its life. So what I did is I grabbed up one of these $6.78 rulers from Walmart, and here it is. And it said it was a 12-inch, so I thought it would fit perfectly. When it got here, it ended up that it was 12, it was 13 plus a border around it. Well, I told we looked at it, Mark and I did, and I said, I don't want to cut it totally down to fit because I need a border around every edge because you don't like to bring the cutter right to the edge. That's a real pain. And oh, green and green. Oh, good for you. This one I'm going to enjoy. Look how much lighter it is than that old one. And I'm sure this darkened with age. But anyway, so I said, I want 1/4 inch around these two sides. And then I want you to take off 1 inch around these two sides. So now it goes to 12 and a half. And but I thought I want to be able to cut 12-inch blocks with this. So he has now cut it for me and he sanded it. And this had a little hang up, a little opening right here so you could hang the this mat up on the wall. So what I did is took the scraps and drew around the opening, then cut it out with some stiff scissors, and I'm going to now glue it down. And I looked at this, has a real nice slick back on it, which makes it a dream. It still rotates so good. And then it's got this shiny piece right here that sticks up from the base that goes into this hole. And then, so you put it until you find the hole, push it down, and then now it'll spin. So I looked to see if I could pry up this from, because I need that smooth surface, that real easy to slide surface. See how nice it is? I need that to stay, but I couldn't get this ruler to delaminate from the back part. So now what I'm going to do, let me check this really quickly. Um, it works on wood, corkboard, vinyl cove base, drywall patches, aluminum, concrete, stone, carpeting, brick veneer, ceramic, shelving, countertops. Not recommended for sheet goods, wood flooring, ceiling applications. So I think it will work for here. And what I've also got that tube of 6,000 glue. And but then I saw this and thought, oh man, this stuff will hold like crazy. So since it said vinyl cove base, that means it should hold vinyl. So what after I got this ready, and I did a little more, I took the edge off so it wouldn't feel sharp at all. And then what I did is I took scissors and scratched the back of this. Do you see some of those scratched lines? I ran the scissors, and there's that. So now I've got to be quick with this because it the scent, ugh, it's not good to breathe. Well, I guess I'll take this up with Mark because I can't get the lid off at all. But I'm going to take, this is the side that I scratched because I knew the mat, it's not smooth anymore at all. But then Mark said, well, what about the other side of this? So I just took the scissors and just, but darn it, I wanted to get it started. Well, I can't do it. So anyway, but I'll put glue all over here, and I will take a scraper and smooth it out all over the back of this. And then I will lay it down, center it just right, put some heavy books on it. I know I shouldn't breathe them. You are so right. So then I'll put heavy books on them and let it sit for 24 hours, and it should work. So I just thought I would show you for $6.78 and a little bit of work. Hopefully I've given this a new life and it'll last a lot longer. Okay, but no, Mary's right. The last thing I should breathe in are toxic fumes. So I've got, here is our house thing, but I wanted to show you what I got from Walmart. I got a big hank of this cotton rope because I really want to make some bowls and baskets and things. I love the idea of making a basket to keep some of my tools and things in. And remember when I went to the retreat, I was able to get these from one of the ladies that was selling them. Oh my gosh, she sold these for only $1 a piece. That's pretty good. And these make the best woven baskets. So I said, I need some more rope. I used up all of mine with the last project. So now I'll put that over there. Then I was thinking, I'm going up a couple of days early. What did I just do to this corner? Oh my goodness. Um, I I was thinking, what am I going to do for my fun activity while I'm relaxing? Because that's one of the things that sometimes I take sewing up to do, but this time I've decided I don't want. I'm taking my a hand project and some crochet, but what do I take with me to work on? Well, you know what I have really loved, and that is the dot mandala. And I got such a good response from the ornaments I made for my kids. So, what I did is bought these. These were from Walmart, and they're 6-inch canvas boards. They have art canvas on them. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there it is. See the canvas? And so they were three in a pack for $2 and 30 some cents, some silly price like that. I said, and it said the store had four of them. I said, I'll take all four. So then what I did is last night I painted them. I put a coat of matte black on all of them. Now, nine of them, even though I have 12. Mark was like, well, you might want to paint some of them a different color. I doubt it because the mandalas show up so beautifully on matte black. So I'm going to be taking these with me. And when I go upstairs tonight, I have to grab, in fact, let me do it right now while I see it. Hold on a second. I see my textile medium. And the ladies that really do a good job with the dot mandalas mix textile medium in with their acrylic paint. And evidently it slows the drying or something, or makes it slows down so that you have more time to put it on. So now I've got that. So I won't forget that since I grabbed that. And I'm going to pre make the paints in the little cups that I have. And I'm washing out the old ones to put them back in. And then I will mix up. And that way I can just take my little tools, my individual little cups of all the different colors, and my silicone mat so I don't make a mess in the hotel room. So, all right, here we go. I had a really good question today. Somebody asked me if they didn't have any of the fusible interfacing, could they put glue on their fabric? And see, I use muslin. Um, oh, this is okay. I use muslin for my base, and this one even was a little bit stained. As long as it's not stained too dark, then the fabric, as long as the fabric I put on top covers it, it's not a problem. Now, I need to do something really quickly. I do notice, and it's probably because I don't quite follow the rules like I should, but I notice that my fusible interfacing comes loose often. Like here along this edge, it's loose. It's pretty good here, a little bit loose. But I recommend, and I'm going to do this after this show. Right now, I'm going to iron it down again. But what I recommend to you is that soon as you iron it down and it cools, because look at this. This is ridiculous. It didn't even stick. But sometimes you're in some brands you're supposed to use steam, steam iron. Sometimes it says hold on for 15 seconds. Well, that's a long time for a Deb. That's a long time to count to 15 every little time I move the iron. So let me get it up to speed. I do it on the cotton setting, but please refer to please refer to your fusible for instructions. Now let me move this thing out of the way. because I don't need that right now and I want my counter space. So let me see if my iron is heated up. And I'm going to kind of start from the beginning with this because it's been a while since we did this. But here are my photos. Here is a black and white so I could see value and placement of what trees and shrubs I want where. Now, let me smooth this out. I'm going to tell you that when you iron on the interfacing, it can get a little ruffly. And what you do is just go through and try to smooth it down the best you can. I would start from the middle. That's always the best idea when you want something to lie flat. Is start pressing it from the middle, start basting your quilt layers in the middle because you can push the excess to the edge. But if you start on one edge, by the time you get over to the other side, you're going to have a bumpy, lumpy mess. So, but anyway, I just have not. I've been so busy with the holidays and then getting my quilt cut out for the class. I think I spent probably about 20 hours figuring out colors and cutting up the pieces. I have to tell you, if you ever want to make it, um, those templates work wonderfully. And they're a big, nice, sturdy template. So you can use your rotary cutter and cut the template out by just, you lay it on the fabric and then I've got a lump right here. So what I'm going to do is come in and kind of loosen it up. And let me see if I can separate it. The one place where I don't want it to stick, of course it's sticking, but the reason I don't worry too much about this is there will be fabric covering this entire thing. Or I will assume it's in the part to be cut away, not going to be used. So, but when you're doing something where this fabric's going to show, please be careful. So I'm just trying to slow down a little bit, see if I can't get this. You don't want to over iron it. When you over iron it, you can loosen the fusible, the sticky layer. You don't want to melt it all the way here because if you do, it'll all go into the fabric. And then guess what? It won't hold anymore. So it turns liquidy when it gets pressed, when it gets hot with the iron. And so don't over iron. Keep checking, but it will, the glue, if it gets too hot, will migrate from the interfacing into the fabric. And then that's it. It's ruined. You have to start all over again. So just be careful. Read your instructions. Follow their suggestions. I mean, they make it. They should know what it takes. They are the best ones to know because each brand has its own suggestion of care. All right. I think I'm done. It looks good now. All right, so I'm going to turn off my iron. I don't need it anymore. All right. Now, on the back of this is an enlarged picture I did of the house. And did it in black and white, and it's printed on 2 pieces of paper. And so I went into my Word program, put the picture in, enlarged the house. You know, I don't remember exactly every step, but try to work with your whatever program you have that you like to work in. If you have Adobe, it's easier. If you have a Word, you can do it. You just maybe have to take a few more steps. Now, let me see if I have this lined up. I'm not sure. This end looks bad. Oh, this end's too high. So let me, you can't see this right now, but I can see through the muslin to see what's drawn underneath. Let me get my light box. Now, the Rebecca who wanted to learn this, her son, her husband has been ill in the hospital. So I haven't heard from her. She was very overwhelmed and she said she'd have to do it later. She wanted to see what was going to happen with her husband. And I'm so sorry. And our thoughts and prayers are definitely with you, Rebecca. Please let me know how he's doing. All right. So I need to clean this off. But all right. And I would probably say I'm going to clean it off with warm water and maybe a little Dawn dish detergent. Being careful, and if that won't work, then I might see if Goo Gone will work. But it's got lots of little, where the marker has come through the fabric. So what I'm going to do now, put this under. Yes, here we go. All right, now let me see. Let me see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a marker. Let me get you closer in here. I'm going to use a marker so that this will show up better for you and for me. And it, like I say, it doesn't matter because there's going to be fabric on top. Okay. So I'm coming in to put this now. This is not the only place you're going to draw this pattern though, because once you put the fabric on here, you won't be able to see your pattern again. So I'll show you what we do about that. So just understand that you have to do several drawings, okay? But if you have some kind of light box, now let's say you don't have a light box and right after Christmas, you're not in the mood to go spend money on a light box. Well, these are pretty darn cheap nowadays. But if you don't, then just take the drawing, the picture, photograph underneath, take it to a window and tape it onto the window. Then take your starched muslin and go tape it on over the drawing. And the light coming through the window will help you see what you're doing. So, okay, so as you can see, now this is a big fig bush, but I'm not going to put this here because we have a lot of shrubbery in the yard because this house was built in 1969 and I'm very lucky that it's been owned by several good gardeners over the years. But if I put in all of this, it's going to be a mess. Now the house comes over to about here, maybe. I'm hoping. And then there is a window here near the edge. So I'm just going to kind of draw this in. And I can put the details in as I need to. But see, this is pretty easy. If you get your house the size that you know would look pretty, then you just draw in over the photo. So it doesn't get much easier. Now, if you can't enlarge it, then what I suggest is you do the 16 squares method, where you take the picture of your house and you draw it into 16, fold it up half by half, by half, by half until there are 16 creases. Oh, a damp fabric sheet. Thank you. Thank you. I will do that. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. I got to turn on the fan here. This light board's making me hot. Okay. So now I'm going to come down to the front porch. Now, this is a maple tree that I am going to leave because it's not blocking too much. So that would work fine. Okay. Now, you just come, whoops, come along. The roof has got to, I was off the line of the roof. Okay, bring the roof all the way up to here. Whoops. I'm left-handed, so I'm always, they put the on-off switch on the left side because most people are righties. Well, not me. All right, so here's the roof. Now, here is my front porch, and it comes down like this. Now, I am just drawing. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going, whoops. Did this? Oh, I know what I'm doing now. I didn't quite get the picture pinned. No wonder everything keeps changing. All right. That's supposed to be right there, but no, it looks like it's going up too much. That's why my roof line looked wonky. All right. Let's see. Darn it. Okay. Now let me make sure I actually get, now it's actually pinned. Okay. So now I've got to come back. Now, what do you do when you've drawn it and then it turns out you've drawn it in the wrong place? I'm going to show you. It's the same thing you do if you were working on marking a piece of lumber and you drew the wrong line. What you do is you come first and draw the correct line right here. Then where the wrong line was, because see, this is a permanent marker. Just come along and make little X's. And when you see the little X, that tells you that line is no good. Ignore that line. So you just make little X's down the part of the line to ignore. Okay, that's not hard. That's not hard. Okay. And now I've got to X this line out. X, X, X. Okay. Now here we go. Come back down this roof line. Come around this corner. Oh, no. I guess it goes all the, whoop, it does. It goes all the way to here. Oops, so X that line out. And part of the problem for me right now is where I tape the two pieces of photograph together. It's giving me a shadow line. All right, so that's right. This comes up like this. Whoops, that goes like that. Anyway, I love our sweet little house. We have been so happy here. And here's my little chimney right here. It's okay. It's for the fireplace that we never use. But you know what I did this Christmas? I put tea lights in a log. Now this is getting irritating. All right. I put little tea lights, drilled little recess places for tea lights, and I put a whole bunch of tea lights in the logs and turned them on when my son and his family were due to be here. And that was lovely. But with my asthma, they told us I would clean that chimney before you use the fireplace. But with my asthma, it just didn't even make sense to worry about it. Okay, trim around the front door like this. All right, so take your time and do this right. Make sure you've got plenty of lines to go by. Um, Take the time to get the detail you need because you want to get it right. So, all right, whoops. All right, what? Oh, this is the window. Okay. Mhm. Mm, I don't know what I've done right here. This is where you have to be. Whoops, you couldn't even see it. Good. I still show you. I don't know. I see light, two light things here, so I'll have to figure out what that is. Then we have light fixtures up here by the door, and I've got a ceramic tile address sign there, and here's the light fixture over here, and I've got some sweet little pots on the front porch. So there we go. Now at least though you see what I'm doing. You see, and put the front porch poster right here. All right. So just continue and do this. So now that's well and good. You get this done, and then I'm going to use some of the photos. I don't think I have them here, but I want to continue the shrubbery down the front of the lawn. It drops down here. Oh, here it is. So I want to continue the shrubbery and the flower bed out. This whole entire picture is what I'm doing of the house. And here is the maple tree. And I might put in this tree right here. This was a seedling sycamore, but I'm not going to put this giant, see that giant fig, because it just covers up the house. And we had some bushes up there that have kind of covered it. So I'm going to keep my shrubbery down kind of low. And so I'm going to draw all of that in. And I love having this pine, the pine needles, or as we call it, pine straw, because that's going to be a real sharp color and when I contrast. I'm going to pick and choose which one of the trees behind the house to include and draw those in. So, but doing something like this little, this is a sundial here, a little concrete. Where is it? There, right there. It's a little concrete sundial. There's a post with birdhouses. So putting little things like that in, I think, are going to look good. So I still don't know what in the world. Oh, I know. Okay. This is where you need the original good photo. What happened is here's the front door, it's glass. Then they have glass side lights. But the shadow of something put a dark line down there. So that's why I drew it weird right here, but I'll fix that. And like I say, any line you don't want, just exit out. And that when soon as you look at it, you'll go, ah, got it. Don't need that. So now the next stage of what you're going to do is beat up the light board if it doesn't stop turning off. This is a piece of golden threads paper. And I love it because it's pretty translucent. And I learned this from Miss Judy Lilly, who oh, she's so talented. I love that woman. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down to about right here and pin it on the fabric and the drawing. Pin it on together. All right. And you put these pins up near the top. The reason, let me bring you back out and back up. The reason is because as I'm working on this quilt, I can push that drawing up, lay the pieces of fabric exactly where I want. You can use fusible, or I prefer using school glue. And so I can put the pieces of fabric on here, Then you bring it back down to make sure you put it in the right place. So let me make sure that I've got this turned all the way up. There we go. I'm going to try to keep my hand from over there. I'm going to bring you back down again. And you can use a marker or a pencil, whatever you want. The marker is a little bit faster, but just come in and right over where you've got it on the fabric, you draw everything you drew the first time on the fabric. This is very important because if you don't have a roadmap for how to do your house, it's going to come off looking a little wonky. Even if you draw your house, if you draw it by hand, you still want to do this. I was real lucky. I took a class from Judy Lilly. Oh gosh, a number of years ago. Miss Mary now has the quilt that I made in that class, but she taught me so much. And how do you do a good landscape? And this was one of her best tips. So now you can see that I have the drawing on this. Now, what I need to do though, I may at some point unpin this. If I do, I'm going to draw a registration line. Oops, I'm going to draw a registration line right over here. I'm going to do 2 lines. Come on, come back up. I'm going to draw, let me show you, these 2 lines on the paper pattern as well as the fabric. I'm going to come down here, do the same thing. This time I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw a circle so that if this circle meets, if it meets nice and smoothly, you know it's in the right place. Then I'm going to do a square here. This, by doing the different shapes, and see when I take the paper off, it's just a half. So by the time I put this back up, then I know I've got this position just right. That's really important because as you start to add your fabric, it's going to look very, very different. All right. Now, let me put, my light should have been up a little higher, but hopefully now you can see what to do. You can draw the trees in the back of the roof. Don't forget to put your roof on. And I like doing enough of the trees and shrubs so the house doesn't look like it's floating. Okay, but that's really, really important. And come down here, go like this. So this was just to kind of show you. Now, it's going to take me another hour to get this fully drawn in. So I will definitely get this done before the next class, but just drawing everything that you want to include in the picture. That way it's easy and simple. And then what I'm going to do when I finish this drawing is go ahead and take my color photo over to my fabrics and start choosing what colors. Some reddish brown, the multitude of greens, these little flowers would be great if I did French knots on them. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And then I'll find different color tree bark fabric, roof fabric, all of it. So that's That's the one thing I will do after I finish this drawing is start pulling fabrics. Now, my house is painted a nice sage green. It's a brick house, but sage green. I need several, probably four different shades of sage green because you're going to have shadowy areas. You're going to look over here where the sun is shining on it. It's almost a yellowy green. So I need to run the gamut across here. The same thing with the black shutters. Some of them look gray, some of them look black. So it's just being careful to shop enough. Like here are the same bushes on either side of the house. These Alberta spruces, little Albertas, they're dwarf, but this one looks yellow green. This one looks dark green. So that's what's going to make my house for landscape look really, really good is by really mimicking the colors as closely as I can. Now, if you want to make your house an entirely different color, that's okay too. Go for it. But for me, I love realism, so I'm going to go with the exact colors. So anyway, and then what I'll do with this now is put everything back together because I'm not going to be here for a week. So I'm going to put everything back together like this, unplug my light board, and I'll leave this to work on when I return. So, and I appreciate you've been very patient with me because I've been dragging my feet doing this. But I actually, believe it or not, I actually got a little excited drawing that. I found myself, I kept wanting to draw, I didn't want to stop. And remember, this is your landscape. If you want to do a fantasy house, if you want to do your dream house, do it. This life, there are no rules in quilting, no rules in art quilts, especially. It's whatever you feel like doing. That's what you should do. There are so many things. We have to pay bills on time. We have to clean house. Ugh. When you do this, this is playtime. This is fun. This is to take your mind off of all the sniggly, oh, do the dogs need a shot? Do whatever. You don't have to worry about that here. Here you play. So decide what you could, your house landscape could be a castle, a Scottish castle for Miss Marcia because she's Scottish. So I think this is good. You don't have the fabrics. That and the thing about this is you don't need that many. I wish I had a scrap bag ready to send to you. Now, if you don't have certain fabric colors, look and see. If you don't, then get some crayons, ink tints, pencils if you can, or regular colored pencils. Get acrylic paint or watercolor paint and paint your fabric. As long as you mix it with, now what did I, oh, here it is. As long as you mix your paints with a little fabric, textile medium, you can do it. Let's say you don't, you can buy textile medium in a little bottle for like $2 from Michael. So that's another good thing. All right. So there are so many different ways to do it. You can actually paint or color the fabric in scraps and then cut it out and glue it down. Once we finish gluing or fusing, and I like using school glue because I don't like the stickiness that fusible makes on the fabric because then we're going to take and use invisible thread and zigzag all the edges down. And then, like I told you, my house was brick and I decided I wanted it to be a color, so I had it painted. And what I'll do then is take some darker sage thread and kind of do a little light impression of the bricks. Just here and there, enough to give you the idea, not the whole thing. And we're going to start off with less is best when it comes to fabric drawing, thread painting, drawing, sketching. And in each stage, I'm going to show you how to do it. When it comes to putting leaves on a tree, I'm going to show you several different ways to do it so that you can find your very favorite way. So I think, are there any more questions? Oh, Marcia, you're so dear. You are so dear. Yeah, once you add fabric to the quilt, you won't see what's going on behind it. See, you can't see my fingers once the fabric's laid over. So that's the nice part. It doesn't matter what's on your fabric. And that's why I use a muslin, even with stains on it. It's all going to be covered with fabric. I'm going to show you different ways of cutting your fabric, whether we take a pattern, the pattern that we use to draw everything, and then cut that up for the different colors and sections. So you can do that, or you can just free cut by hand, which is what I do often. I love that. So we'll show the different ways. But if you have any other questions, then let me know. Now, Mary, send me an email when I'm sending out your when I sending you out the mystery quilt. I can put a few colors in there. So let me know, look at your stash and let me know what colors you might be short of. But remember, you're just going to be using little pieces of it. You don't need big yardage. You can put together a lot of little pieces. So, all right. Oh, thrifted clothing. Yes, if you can go to a Goodwill and men's shirts, men's ties, ladies' blouses, long as you can use whatever fabric you want. This is not a quilt that's going to cover you up and get thrown in the washing machine. So you can use anything you want. You could use velvet if you want for part of it. So use what's best, what you have, what you can find, and what is inexpensive. Okay. So let me see. I want to just double check. I love everyone here. And that is wonderful, sweetie. So, okay. Anything else? Marsha Hahn, thank you for explaining that. That is very, very good. Yes, very good. Hi, Terry. It's so nice. Now, I I don't know if you can increase it by using a window. What I mean is when you have the light under it, you can see where to trace it. But like I said, I took my picture in my computer and I cropped it in half. Cropped it, then put it on landscape for printing and enlarged it or now actually I did portrait. I turned it sideways so it could be even bigger, and I turned it sideways and stretched it out. Okay. Now, when you go to if you try to get it enlarged, crop it to cut out anything you don't need to see right now so you can make it bigger. If you've got enough room, you can leave in some of the background stuff around it. But what I did is then enlarged half of the house to fit on one full sheet, then brought the second half turned it upright, stretched it out, and then I taped them together. So that's a way I do. Now, if some of you want an even easier method, you can do the purchase method, which means you take your photo and you go to an office supply store or a copy store and you say, I want this to be this big. and they'll know just what to do, and they will put it on a copy machine that will print it out the size you want. The last time I had it done, it was about $4 or $5 for a page, for the big page, but that's even easier. So if you live near a place that can enlarge it, let them do it. Just hold up your hands to about how big you want it, and they should be able to take it from there. All right. Also, if you want it to be black and white only, so you can see all the lines better, ask them to do that. They'll print it out on grayscale. That way, you're already half the way there. So, here we go. Jody says, save the photo as a PDF, then open in a Adobe Acrobat and then enlarge. That's if you own the service to do that. When I have been trying, it says I have to buy a program. Well, that's a bummer. So, but for those of you who don't know what I mean about enlarging or shrinking by the 16 block method, I'm going to do something real quick to show you. So I'm going to draw a little girl. All right. Okay. This is a terrible little girl. I was in a hurry. This is a little girl. Now, you've decided you want to make this big. What you do is you take your paper, you fold it in half this way. Okay? Fold it in half. Then fold it in half again this way. So now, if you were to open this back up, it would be in 4 sections. But we're not done yet. We'll take and fold it down this way again. Now it's in 8 sections, and then one more you'll fold. So you kind of keep folding it in half the opposite way. So you get it in a nice rectangle or square, depending on how big the thing is. But so you get it in even rectangles or squares. And now look what happens when I take it out. Do you see? There are 16 segments. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, then you take a piece of paper the size you want that picture to be. So it could be this big. And you also fold that paper into 16 segments. Then you draw just what you see in each block. And what it does is it breaks up the drawing into small segments and easier to manage. Like this, her top of her arm is a little bit higher than midway down the rectangle, but it comes over a little more than halfway across. But this makes it much easier to draw. So if you feel like you're not a good drawer, do it this method. You can draw just about anything. And that's how you enlarge it, because this little rectangle is this big, but on the paper you want it to be, your rectangle might be this big. By the time you draw what you see in each of the 16, it's going to be a pretty good representation of what you have on here. So there's just all kinds of ways. The thing that we like to do, I want to teach you at where you are. You might not have all the tools I have. I've been doing this since 1990, 89, long time. So, or actually, yeah, I guess it was about $89 or $90. So over the time, I've got a lot of fabric and tools and things. And I've also done a lot of things. So, um, if I can help you, but I don't want you to feel like to learn this, you have to go out and buy all this stuff. No, no, no. I will give you enough different methods so you can do it as you are today. Okay? And while you're doing it, you'll remember a lot of this or write it down, take notes, and then as you get more supplies, more tools, then it'll be that much easier. So, okay, I think, yep, an apartment would work good too. Draw maybe part of the building with your apartment highlighted. So you can do any apartment, anything, a camper. It's all a home. All right. Oh, good, Carrie. We would love to have you back. And let me give you my email, Carrie, because we have a groups IO that's free to join. And if you want to join where you can chit chat with us, we share free patterns, and you can ask me for help, for individual help. Our time to, whoops, a shoe. Jody, you're so cute. Jody, you're so cute. I love my Jody. Gosh, we missed her when she wasn't here. Okay, our time to quilt. And I try to be good, and it's at twc.com. I try to be good at checking my emails and responding as quickly as I can. But you can use this to ask me specific questions, to join our group IO. Also, we do on Sundays is our main show, our bigger show, and we do show and tell. So if you have pictures of things you've done, you might like, yay. Now, this Sunday, this is what I'm planning. I'm going to be driving to Myrtle Beach this Sunday, and it's going to take me, actually, it's going to take me only 4.5 hours. I was really excited. I thought it was going to take 5. What I'm hoping to do is to have a 5 p.m. show from the hotel. And I love always showing you the beach. Oh, I am very lucky, Carrie. This is my big thing that I do every year. I've been doing it now. This is my 13th or 14th year, and I feel so blessed to be able to do this. But I love showing y'all the ocean, and so I'm hoping to do it at 5. So we'll have a 5 my time. So we'll have about a half an hour that I can show you off the balcony and show you the ocean. So I'm not going to put the show up as listed until I'm sure I can get there in time and get it set up. I'm not supposed to check in till 4. So I'm going to try though to see if I can check in around 3 if they let me. Then I've got to get everything up to the room and set up. But I'm going to try. If you don't see me, do not worry. I'll put a little note on our group's IO to say I got here safely. Don't worry. I just couldn't get there in time. So, but I'm going to try to do that. And then I will try to do maybe a midweek show just to kind of tell you a little bit more about it or show you my progress on the Alaska quilt. It'd be wonderful if Lisa could come to my room and we could do the show together. Wouldn't that be fun? You'll get to see our Lisa. So, but if you don't, hear or know, hi, Clear Skies. Myrtle Beach is, oh, hi, hon. Myrtle Beach has had for 30 years, I think, Myrtle Beach Quilt Party. And it started out several friends wanted a chance to get away from kids and husbands and just sew and have a great time. That's how it started. Now, a couple hundred people come and we take classes and stay in a really nice hotel. And you're home in Oz. Yes. Oh, I understand, Miss Jody. And so I'm so lucky that I get to go there every year. Husband stays home, takes care of the house, the dogs, everything, so I can just go and be far away. So I will take pictures. We have several show and tells there, teachers as well as us, and I will make sure that I get a movie, a video of all of that so I can show you. So I just love taking you with me. I just love taking you with me. All right, everyone. Well, Mark has dinner. I better run because he's going to say, I thought you said. And so hopefully, well, the weather's going to be a little bit chillier than I hoped because I was hoping to take long walks on the beach. Are you kidding? It's going to be in the 40s. I might just go out there for just a little bit and run back. But anyway, I wish I could take you all with me, but I'm going to show you as much as I can, take lots of photos and show you. So take good care of yourself. Oh, you're in the bullseye tonight. Oh, no, that's why Jody said her house might end up in Oz. The storm is still coming through. Oh, enough, enough, enough. All right, everyone. It was so wonderful. Any of you that live anywhere near Myrtle Beach, type in MBQP and it should bring up the site. And if you live close enough to get there, see if you can let them know. I'd love to come to, because she's always saying, tell your friends. And that's how I met Lisa. Now Lisa's here almost every show. So it's been wonderful to meet her. All right, everyone. Take good care. Please don't fly away, my friends in Arkansas and Ohio that might be getting a bad storm. And but take good care of yourself. Do me a favor. I'm going to be taking care of me this week. Try to find something, a little something, a cup of hot cocoa, a book that you've been wanting to read. Take that little time just for you. It will soothe your soul and help you be creative that much more. So take good care of yourself. I hope to see you Sunday evening at 5 for me, which is New York time, East Coast time. So it'll be a little later for y'all. But I hope to send you at least one show from my time at the beach. Take good care, everyone. I can't wait to let you know how the Adita Sitar Alaska quilt is going. I'm hooked on her now. So many of y'all have been for a while, and now I finally got on the bandwagon. So take good care. Bye, everyone. See you soon. All right. Bye bye. I'll drive very safely. Thank you. Bye bye. Y'all take care, everyone.